Stellar Blade is a game that has had so much hype surrounding it and a lot of backlash because there are individuals on social media who think pretty women are awful in entertainment, and of course, we just got a brand new trailer for the game alongside the release date, and there are still people melting down over this game on social media. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or via YouTube memberships. Now, we just finally got a brand new trailer for this game and the release date at the PlayStation State of Play, and I've got to be honest, this game looks really freaking good. I have been hyped for it ever since they announced it several years ago, even though it's gone through a lot of delays and long periods of time where we haven't heard a lot of information about it. It is a game that I, and of course many of you, are extremely excited for, but this title has not been without its backlash because there are so many people online who are furious that they would dare to put an extremely attractive female character in the lead, and of course a lot of people questioning, is this game actually going to be good, or are they highlighting so much fan service because this game is going to be hollow and there's nothing else going for it? But of course there are still people melting down, especially now after the brand new trailer, and most people are genuinely really excited for this game, and a lot of people are very hopeful that when this releases in April, it is going to be a fantastic experience. But there are some journalists and just Puritans online who are fuming about this game. This is one thread that has kind of gotten a little bit of attention simply because of the way that they're attacking the game. This individual's name is Corinne Yovian, digital media producer and interviewer. I find stuff like this funny. I can bet a good amount of cash that Avowed will have an incredible cast of characters and story. Stellar Blade just has a stellar ass, and that's about it. Like I said, graphically and combat-wise, it looks great, but I can't get past their faces looking like little girls. It's weird. Either way, we will see how they turn out when they release. So straight up projection here, their faces look like little girls. Nobody else sees that. None of us have complained about that. All of us think that these characters, female and male, look fantastic, and they don't look young in any way, shape, or form, at least in my opinion. I think he missed the memo when this entire lead character, Eve, was, based off of a real, breathing human being, a woman who looks very, very close to the version of her that is in the game, but they actually say, I bet cash that Avowed will have an incredible cast of characters and story, and that might be true, but so far this person is completely out of touch with how people feel because, of course, Avowed was, the gameplay was shown off more only 2 weeks ago at the Xbox Direct, and this is the game overview trailer. It's currently sitting at 2.2k likes to 1.3k dislikes, so it's not getting negatively ratioed, but that is not a good ratio nonetheless. And if we look at something like Stellar Blades, it's got 21,000 likes to only 520 dislikes. So clearly people are extremely happy with what they've seen of Stellar Blades so far. Avowed is looking to be a little bit more controversial. It doesn't look awful, do not get me wrong, but a lot of the environments with Avowed seem very bland, very boring. They just did not seem to be very unique in any way, shape, or form. And while the combat does remind me of something like Skyrim, I just don't necessarily know if it's going to be enough. It's going to be what people expect, especially since it's not coming out for a while. And of course, there's this other tweet thread going around that shows off a couple of the panty shots we saw in Stellar Blade's new trailer. When developers resort to sex to sell their game, it usually means the game is lacking. This is a complete and utter lie. If you don't like seeing this type of content in a game, that's perfectly fine. You do not have to play it, but just because we're getting an upskirt shot does not mean that this game is going to be a failure, does not mean it's going to be a disaster, and the only thing it's got going for it is sex. Maybe these developers actually understand their target audience and they understand what people want in their games, and people are sick and tired of this politically correct landscape that is going on in the gaming industry right now. People are sick and tired of purchasing a game and not getting content that was originally intended for adults because, oh no, a child might see it, or, oh, this doesn't live up to our modern standards. These are ridiculous things that people have been fighting back against. And yes, there are quite a few panty shots in the trailer, and it seems like she's got a wide variety of outfits, but these are not negative things, and there are so many people who are very happy with this. I'm a hardcore Xbox gamer, but a company choosing not to censor this is a win for all gamers, which I, of course, totally and completely agree with. This game is looking very akin to Nier Automata, Bayonetta. It is very reminiscent of these other games that have done extremely well, and honestly, it looks like it is going to be a super fun experience. There's also threads going around showing the main characters of the story, even Adam, 4K screenshots, and people trying to say things like sexist game, and people are like, sexiest game, fixed it for you, absolute L, go back to where you came from. I am glad these developers are not listening to these Puritans, these outraged individuals on social media, and I'm glad over the years they have not changed the vision for their game, even though a couple of years ago when it was in earlier development, they could have listened to these people who were outraged, saying, ugh, this game's just got too much sexiness in it, because this is something that I want to play, that many of you want to play, and I think that this game is going to be extremely successful when it launches. I will be live streaming it. I cannot wait, and I really hope it ends up being as good as it looks. I was really impressed with the gameplay that they showed, even though the narrator, I think in the segment they just recently showed off its state of play, was a little bit too low energy for the exciting content they were showing. I thought that it was a pretty well put together presentation overall, and I'm so excited to get Eve and Adam in this game. I'm excited to see the world in which they're trying to establish, and if this is going to be a standalone or if they are going to potentially do other spin-offs and this is going to become some massive franchise. It will be interesting to see. We still have a couple of more months to go, but I'm sure the backlash is going to keep up during that time. I'm sure there are going to be many people who are still going to be furious over the game, and each and every time we are going to laugh at them, because this title looks like it's going to be fantastic. And these journalists are proving just how out of touch they are with their audience, and these Puritans are getting absolutely destroyed with their just terrible takes. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.